Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Debbie, and together
We
we
are
are
the
the
Roundtable
Roundtable
Recap.
Recap.
Hey, welcome back. We are on Traitors US Season 3, Episode 3, and kicking right off with the Traitors turret. They all agree it is better to have Rob with them than against them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't remember that at the from the last time that I watched it. I didn't remember that they all were so cohesive at the beginning. So that it was nice to see, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
definitely doesn't last.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
and
was nice that they actually had discussions.
yeah, I feel like Rob is a good trader to be thrown in the mix because it really is, more so two versus against one, both of them against Carolyn. So I think with Rob in the mix and having, that voice to kind of even out everything, I think it's a good balance.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, because
So,
I think Bob bringing up that they should, get out another housewife. I agree that it was too much, even though that's what they end up going with. But I felt like they should have like turned the tables and maybe if they want to create chaos, which I think was the point of doing another housewife. I feel like they should
right.
have went with someone who didn't make sense, like either maybe not picking Tom because I felt like Tom he he's a target anyway, so it's kind of good to just to
Yeah.
have him in there.
Yeah.
But maybe like Nikki that nobody really would have a reason to go after, or even Bob, the other Bob,
Right. Bob
something along
H.
those, yeah,
Yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have I think I would have probably gone with yeah, a name that was thrown out at the last round table. I would have gone out. I would have picked somebody, maybe like Ivers or somebody like that. But yeah, I think because when you look at it and you're like, well, there's only been one housewife that's been, that they've gotten rid of. But then when you look at it, it's back to back. It's back to back
Right.
housewife. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, that's I would have had a problem with that as well.
Yeah. And then Carolyn in her confessional at this point she even says like she feels like still like a solo traitor against everyone. And I'm like this would have been a really good opportunity for her to kind of make more of an alignment or a um team up with Rob because obviously
Right.
Bob and Danielle are kind of more connected. So I felt like this would have been like Carolyn's opportunity to kind of make Rob her alliance member.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with Carolyn. I didn't understand the first time. I still don't understand it. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, because at the very beginning, when Alan said, come shake my hand, to let Rob into the game and you get to pick, boot one player out, Carolyn was actually thinking about doing it. So I don't understand her hesitation about him.
yeah,
No, I don't
yeah,
understand that.
yeah. I know because she didn't, which surprised me, but she didn't. I thought she was like the most happy to have Rob as a traitor, and then it kind of
Right.
switched up to where she wasn't as happy, and Danielle seemed more happy to have Rob. And I mean, she does
Yeah.
indicates because she'd rather have Rob on her side than against her side, but yeah, yeah, it threw me for a
Yeah.
loop as well.
Yeah. So it just makes you think that maybe there were some discussions that didn't make it,
Yeah.
to the final editing. So yeah, it was just strange to see that happen.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then I just have moving to breakfast unless you had anything else.
Nope.
Okay. So my takeaway from kind of my initial thought for breakfast was that Rob is going in this in the best position possible because he's got the Cage Boys alliance. He's obviously a
Hmm.
traitor, so he's got those alliance members,
Hmm.
and then at this point he has Tony, seeing how he gave Tony his shield. So like
Right.
I felt like Rob out of everyone was sitting pretty.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that too. But it was, was it in Derek's confessional that he said that he suspected that one of them was a traitor.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think if anybody at this point didn't suspect at least one of them being a traitor, I feel like they're just being ignorant to the facts
Yeah.
because I mean, why would they bring in three faithfuls? It doesn't it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but I don't know, have any of the traitors ever had 4 traitors? Have they ever had 4 traitors?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's I was trying to think about that. So maybe that's what, if everybody was thinking, well, they've always had 3 traitors, maybe that's why nobody,
Suspected at
I don't
this
know.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. But I feel like also there's still, even if you didn't think, oh, it could be four traders. I mean, what's to say that Alan only chose two traders at the round table
Right. Right.
and then
Yeah.
they could bring in a third. But yeah,
Right. Yeah, that's
see.
true. That's true too. Yep. Mhm.
But yeah, breakfast you get, Danielle's confidence and her acting, and Rob's over
Oh,
there
right.
just watching the show like she needs to pipe down a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
but
they have two different views.
mhm.
In Danielle's confessional, she's patting herself on the back, and Rob is like, no, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
like shut up.
hmm I mean,
Yeah,
I do think across the board, all four of them have a different gameplay, which maybe that's also why they choose the traders how they choose them because they want, different aspects. They don't
mhm.
want someone with the same mentality. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would have been interesting if Wes had been a traitor, because then you would have had, for the traitors, you would have had a big brother, you would have had a survivor, and you would have had the challenge. Right, the
Oh,
challenge,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
but yeah, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't happen this time. So I think that Rob and Carolyn being in as both survivors and both traitors, I think it's a little bit hard on them.
Yeah. Or they could have done two out of the three. Even threw in another traitor like
Oh,
Wes and Boston Rob. But
right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I was just trying to think of like their gameplay and stuff, because two survivors. It would have been, I
mhm.
think, interesting to have, people with different strategies. I mean, Carolyn and Rob's gameplay is different, but it just would have been interesting to have, from another reality show, in as a trader.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Anyways,
Before they get into the mission, did you have anything else that you noted at breakfast?
at breakfast,
Yeah.
no, no, not until I think everybody breaks off into groups after breakfast. So, yeah.
Yeah, which okay, so this part I didn't understand, and it could be also because of the editing, but Carolyn, she's so adamant of pulling Gabby and Nikki to go talk to them really quick. But
Right.
there wasn't
Yeah.
really a discussion. I'm like
Nope.
it there was I don't even remember what she said because it was so quick, and then
Hmm.
and then maybe it got cut off because other people kind of joined in. But then they like broke apart where she went with Jeremy, and then like
Right.
the other ones were like, yeah, she's a little crazy or whatever they called her. Like they just kind
Well,
of like
it,
chalked
it
it up
was
to
it
that.
was yeah, it was actually Bob the drag queen that was talking about her out in the hallway that she overheard.
Oh,
He was the one that was saying, yeah, that she's a little crazy, and and then when she was talking to Jeremy, and she said, they're talking about me.
yeah, yeah. Which is smart because she kind of used this as a bonding opportunity with Jeremy, which obviously it worked because then he opened up and confided in her that he thinks that Danielle could be one, or
Hmm.
just to kind of like keep an eye out for her.
Right, right, yeah.
So it was kind of like smart how it played out, but I felt like what happens to that conversation?
I know. I thought
Nothing
it
like
was.
transpired from it. So I don't know what she
Yeah,
was trying to do.
I don't know if she was trying to make a girl connection, with some of the other players, but yeah,
Yeah.
it just didn't work out for her. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Carolyn.
I know.
Yeah. But then, yeah, I have that this is where Wes and Robin talk, and they think that Tony could possibly be a traitor.
Mhm.
See, I think Tony would have been way too obvious to put as a traitor because,
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
everyone already has him marked, and he's over here faithful. But um,
Yeah.
and then I laughed at this part too because it's different groups breaking off within different groups,
Mhm.
but Nikki tells Tom like, "Okay, I'm gonna
I know.
watch today. Like, this is what I've learned." And he's like, "Yeah, like we gotta watch." And she's like, "Yeah, but you
Right.
creepy, not creepy watch like you watch." Like,
Yeah, I know. I thought that was funny too.
yeah,
Because I made the same note. I said, "No creepy watching."
yeah.
So,
I,
yeah.
I think it's funny. I
Poor
think it,
Tom.
yeah. I don't think
I
people
mean, he's
suspect Tom because he is,
no.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
kind of,
he's an outlier. Yeah, he's
yeah,
just out there. He's doing his own thing. So, yeah.
yeah. He has his own suspicions and way to go about it. Yeah.
But then Tony and Wes, they start talking, and that's when Tony learns that his name is being thrown out there.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the
Which I
housewives.
felt, yeah, I felt bad for Tony. I mean, yeah, I feel bad for anybody that goes in and then they're, kicked out so early on. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Or that once you're deemed a traitor, then you have to
mhm,
defend yourself at every round table too, like that other
right.
traitors we watched. Yeah. Where it's just, it kind of gets exhausting after a while to have to constantly defend yourself. Unless you really are a traitor, but I mean, in these instances, it's not the case. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of brave of Dylan to throw out his theory, which is on point,
Hmm.
in regards to Bob the drag queen being a
Hmm.
traitor. But
Right.
his group that he confided in was pretty big, where a lot
Right.
of other people kind of keep it to like a small group of maybe two, three at max. But what he had Bob, Rob, Nikki, Gabby, and Jeremy. Like, that's a
Yeah. Yeah. He had a
huge
lot of
group.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think
Um,
he would have been good to ally with Wes, because Wes gave him some good advice about, if you're going to go after, you know, I forget exactly what he said, but basically, make sure you have something to back it up if you're going to go after somebody.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it would have been a good alliance, I think, him and Wes.
yeah, I think so. Definitely, because, yeah, Dylan could learn from Wes, because Dylan's not a game player at this
Hmm.
point. Like, what? He's from The Bachelor, right? Is that where he's from? I think. Or
Yeah, I think so. I think
yeah, so
so.
it's not
Something
like
like
it's
that.
yeah, so it's a little bit different than an actual gaming type of
Hmm.
strategies. So they would have definitely balanced out each other.
Yeah.
Um, but moving into the mission, which
Yes.
is the fun house, and I mean, yeah, they did terrible. None.
Especially if you watch you watch Traders UK, and so
Mhm.
many of them made it to the end.
I
Like
know.
so many. I mean, only the first group that made it through got the shield, but so many of them made it to the end.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, Traders US.
I
What
mean,
happened?
the fourth group, who was it? Bob and who was who's his teammate? Bob
Robin,
and Dolores. They
Dolores. Yeah.
yeah, everyone's like, you've tried
Yeah.
all three other doors. The four team should have
Yeah.
been a guarantee in, and yeah,
Yeah.
they chose wrong.
I had to laugh at Brittany's comment about, it feels like we're learning colors again.
Yeah,
Feels like we're learning shapes again.
yeah,
Like
back in kindergarten.
nobody can describe anything.
No, and even the next group, the fifth group that went in, which was Dylan and Boston Rob, they described the
Yes.
door as this door has balloons, and I'm like, there's those aren't even balloons. You can call them polka dots, but they're circles. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I like some of their descriptions. We're going with the door with the blue in the corner.
yeah,
It's,
yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did terrible.
terrible,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, that was, the only thing that really came out of that mission, though, was Bob H. uh,
Mhm,
basically pushes Tony to go first
mhm.
because, again, no one
Right,
wants to volunteer in this group to go
right.
first as into the doors. So,
Well, I think that the tension between Tony and Bob H. I think that's where it started, and I think it just kind of grew between that and the round table, because
oh, yeah, I guess,
yeah,
yeah,
they didn't,
yeah, it flowed
yeah,
into
they,
that.
yeah. So I think that was the main thing. So yeah, this mission was complete fail. No money,
Hmm.
no shields.
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah.
I would
Mm,
agree. Um, and then yeah, on the way back though from the mission, this is where Danielle's name gets brought up
mhm,
by
mhm.
Jeremy. So in that
Right.
car, it was Jeremy, uh, Gabby, Nikki, and Tony, I want to say.
It was
Oh, Bob, the drag queen.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we learn also in this episode that you can't throw out a name without someone going and running and telling that other
Mhm.
person right away. Because
Yes. Right.
it happened before the
Yeah.
mission, and then it happened a couple times
Ugh,
after the mission. Like,
I
everyone
know.
spills the beans in this group.
Yeah, and especially when because Bob the drag queen tells Danielle that Jeremy's throwing her name out,
Mhm.
and then when there's Wes, Jeremy, and Dylan throws out Bob the drag queen's name, and Jeremy runs to Bob
Yep.
the drag queen. But but Bob the drag queen gets so upset, like he's ready to go confront.
I know, and I mean, he doesn't because I think he gets pulled off to the or he goes into a
Mhm.
room with and it ends up being other people, so then he sits and
Right.
vents to them. And then also in this episode is where you learn about the Bambi Alliance. So you have
Right.
Nikki, Gabby, and Chriselle?
So
Yeah.
yeah. So we move to the round table.
Yep, move to the round table, and again, you have the different names that are tossed around, and Dylan is the one who starts calling out, what he
Hmm.
suspects as far as Bob the drag queen and Robin, which ironically they're sitting right next to each other, but because of the whole
Yeah.
Wells thing.
Yes. Yeah, I thought that was pretty brave of Dylan. I thought, he would take Wes's advice and then wait until he had more evidence, but no, he just goes for it. I kind of, I have to respect Dylan because, obviously it ticked Bob the drag queen off, and he really went after Dylan.
Hmm.
But Dylan stood his ground. That's the only thing with Bob the drag queen. The only thing I don't like is that he kind of like he's condescending in when he attacks people, and so that part I don't like. Instead of coming back with facts, he comes back with just statements to make the other person feel bad.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
I
I
think it's,
forgot
yeah,
that.
because he doesn't have anything to really defend
Right.
himself with, and maybe it'd be different if he was actually a faithful, but
Yeah.
maybe it's just because that's his
Yeah, that
cover
could
trying
be.
to be a traitor is that's his way of
Yeah.
deflecting without
Yeah. Because
deflecting.
I remember him being a good player. I just didn't remember that part, of
Yeah.
like the way that he attacked people. And I thought, whoa, that's. I kind of felt bad for Dylan, but glad that Dylan, stood his ground, and and then in the end did vote. He continued. He voted for Bob the drag queen, which I was going to say I think is a smart move for the trade for the faithful to do, is to, if you suspect a traitor, just put their name down, because then if you're if you don't show up at breakfast,
Yeah.
then then people will go after that person.
Yeah.
Like that person will be on their radar. So I think that's smart. Like if you think somebody's a traitor, put it down. Write it down,
Mhm.
and then you run the risk of not showing up at breakfast, but it puts everybody else on alert that this is a possible traitor.
Yeah, it's kind of what I can't remember who the other person was. I know Bob Drag Queen, but obviously he's just trying to throw out different names. But two of them picked Ivor, and
Yeah, yeah, Bob the drag queen, and who was the other one?
I can't remember. But like, I mean, they didn't
Was it
even really.
Danielle?
No, it wasn't. It
Oh,
wasn't
wasn't.
another
Oh, okay.
traitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, okay. It doesn't even make then Bob the drag queen stand out because obviously someone else was thinking along the same
Right.
lines.
Right.
But
Yeah. Going after Ivor. Yeah.
yeah,
But I thought with Jeremy, I got frustrated with his vote because he's like, I'm voting for Tom. It's a throwaway vote. And
hmm
I'm like, no, there is no throwaway votes in this. Every vote counts.
yeah,
Maybe not at the beginning, but don't say it's just a throwaway because every vote, counts. It could be down to, two people with 4 votes, and you go for the other person.
right. Or if anything, stick to Danielle. I mean, he was saying it the whole episode that he
Right,
thought
right,
Danielle
right,
was,
right.
but yeah,
I think he wants more evidence. I think
he saw what
he's like
happened to
Wes.
Dylan. Or
Yeah, yeah.
he's like, oh no, no, not today, not today.
No, I'm gonna keep a low profile. I don't want my name out there.
Yeah, yeah. Which
So,
I mean, Dylan does learn after the fact. He's, because
hmm
Bob comes up to him after the round table to apologize. I think he apologized, like, yeah, to him or,
yeah,
whatever. He tries to clear the air. And,
right,
Dylan plays it off like, oh, okay, yeah, and I'm changing my mind. But really, he's not. He's 100% thinking that it's him, but he knows the
right,
next time he's going to come with facts.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then they have
So,
the plain sight mission for the traders. This
yeah,
is
but we didn't even say what Tony was the one that. I mean, it's
oh
pretty obvious that Tony was the one that
yeah.
got
Tony's the one
got
that
voted out.
gets voted out because and Rob actually sealed his fate on that because I mean he
He
had to
didn't
do
need
it.
to.
Well, he felt like, Bob the drag queen was going down, but I think it would have been smart of him to just not say anything because again, he
Right.
had Tony on his side. He had the multiple
Yep.
alliances.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that was a big mistake on his part. Yeah, he
Yeah.
should have. I mean, because so many people went after Tony, I think Boston Rob didn't need to say anything.
But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, after the round table, this is where the traders learn that they have their own mission to do, which they have to, I don't know if it's a time limited thing, but they have to write 3 names that night
hmm
of who they
Yeah.
want to send into a coffin.
Yeah. Well, it is a time limited because they have to do it before the clock starts
The
striking.
clock.
Because
Okay.
when,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny with Carolyn. She didn't know where
Yeah.
everybody was. She's out there wandering around, and
Yep.
and they're all meeting. They just all went to the room.
hmm See, but at least it's her because people just think she's a little kooky. So like they just
Right.
chalk it up
Yeah.
to that's just Carolyn. Like it I
Right.
mean they couldn't I mean I don't think Danielle or anybody else would have been able to play it off as good as
That's
her.
true. True. Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree that it's too risky to put a traitor as one of the 3 in the coffin
hmm
because that's too much of a spotlight and that's only 3 people. So
Right. Right.
and I don't
Yeah.
remember offhand who they choose either. So
Yeah. There was some discussion. I know who one is because I know that person is the one that ends up,
being
leaving.
eliminated. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't. Yeah. I don't think they really. If they said it, they. I was paying attention to other things if they said it. But I do know. I do know the one person.
So I
Yeah.
guess we'll have to
Oh.
stay tuned to find out
Yeah.
on the next episode. Next week, we'll be back with who they put in the coffin and we'll see how things transpire.
Yay.
See you then.